In your opinion, is collecting rare and valuable pens a sound addition to an investment strategy? Do pens tend to appreciate over time like art? So I'm going to latch on to one word that you asked in this question, which is sound. No, I would not consider them to be a sound addition to an investment strategy. Without getting too much into microeconomics here, I would say that, like any other collectible niche kind of art realm, it's not really going to be considered sound because not everybody's into it. So you're going to be subject to ebbs and flows and whims and the fancies of whatever community of people is collecting these things, which is going to change over time, and it's not going to happen in a very predictable way per se. It's also not going to happen across the board. So you could have some pens that triple in price because they just really become popular for whatever reason, and you're going to have other pens that don't really do much or are actually worth less, especially if you ink it up and use it. So I can't say that it's going to be sound. Now, it could be an investment strategy, and like anything else, you can probably pick ones that are going to do better and stuff like that. But in general, it's going to be a little hit or miss. So that's why I can't call it sound. And I've never been a huge fan, personally, of buying pens purely for their investment value. I know that was a huge trend in the 90s and maybe early 2000s with a lot of limited edition pens, a lot of Mont Blancs and things like that were getting into the $1,000, $2,000 range. A lot of people were just, any LE that would come up, they would buy it, sock it away, put it in a safe place like a bank vault or a safe deposit box and that kind of thing, and would just collect them. Just to hope one day get the payoff. And some of those pens are worth a lot more, and some of them are worth kind of the same. And it's not something that I think like, yeah, you should forego your 401k and buy pens instead. I don't think that's wise. I think if you purely want to talk investments, like, you'd be 100% better off strictly financially just going with like a diversified, safe, relatively financial vehicle, CDs, mutual funds, that kind of thing. I think over time, pens, you're going to see inflation, you're going to see some ups and downs based on, demand. But I think in terms of the broad spectrum, you're probably going to see just a purely better financial investment. Just going with like a low risk mutual fund over time for the average individual. That said, I'm not a financial advisor or any financial person, so take this purely only for entertainment value. It's not legal advice in any way. That said, not just talking about money, but in terms of value and enjoyment, I think pens are a fantastic investment if you're into pens, because generally speaking, you're going to be able to ultimately probably sell your pens for a decent amount, close to what you bought them at, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on condition, other factors. But it's going to be a place where you can park some of your money, enjoy whatever it is you're using. They're going to last a really long time. You can either pass them on or maybe sell them one day and be able to recoup some of that. Well, not if you pass them on, but you'll be able to recoup some of that if you sell them, and you'll have enjoyed the pens all along the way. I honestly think that's why art as an investment is interesting, right? Is because, yeah, you're investing in something, but if you buy a bunch of mutual funds, what do you have? You have mutual funds. No one cares. But if you have art, ooh, look at my fancy art. I got a Banksy or whatever. That's, you're so cool. And like the enjoyment you'll get out of that is part of the payoff of that investment as well. And then hopefully you can sell it at a value. So, just like any other art, it's not like if you buy any painting, it's going to be worth more. If you buy a Banksy or you buy something that's very notable, that will be worth more. Or obviously now, if you buy something from any of the great masters, that will probably appreciate over time. Whereas if you buy like a super rare vintage fountain pen and buy it at the right price, yeah, okay, it might. increase in value still, if it's a tried and true and very specific, but there's no guarantee of that. So anyway, it's hard to put a value dollar on like the enjoyment of something that you'll have, like a pen, but that's why I say don't buy it purely on the expectation of investment, but you'll be able to recoup most of it and enjoy the heck out of your pens in the meantime.